everyone. As we all know that today we have gathered for this QA webinar, and I'm representing the QA team on behalf of all the QAs, which I am hoping like everyone is there. So let me share my screen and then we can start. Just a minute. Yeah, so hope everyone can see my screen. Okay. Okay. So to start with, like just a question for everyone that like how many of you have ever like went into like gone into that situation where you got those lengthy BRD of 30-40 pages and then you guys have to read all those documents, review everything, and then just like extract all those material as per your job. I think we all have gone through in that situation ever, like at least once in our lifetime. So that is the first thing which which helped me to like create this particular skill about which I will be talking about. Okay. So a few challenges that we as a QA in day-to-day life faces. So first is the lengthy BRD and FRD. So every time we get some BRD or FRD and then we have to read it, review it, and then extract all those QA things, like what are those requirements and how we like have to cater all those things, like what tools we have to use and what resources we should be using and everything. Okay. Then the second thing is missing edge cases. So obviously, since we are like manually working upon it, like we cannot think upon each and everything at once. Like there are situations when things appears later in our mind that okay, this particular thing could have been one of the edge cases, right? So that is the second challenge is. Third is ambiguous requirement. Like there might be situation where what FRD or BRD like which we got, so I mean, like maybe they did not have all those requirement or all those clarity which we would be needing as a QA. Then fourth thing is inconsistent quality and formatting. So basically what I have observed since I have worked on various projects, so what I have observed, each project is having a different way of writing test case document, or I would say any document. So there is like there isn't any proper or standardized format that okay, test case should be in this way, test plan should be in this way, and so on and so forth. Like there are various documents. Okay. So that is one of the thing which is like not that much good, or I would say which is like kind of challenging if maybe a new person is joining, so they don't know in what format they have to work. Okay. So that is one thing. Then another thing is working hours and hours on a feature just for like documentation purpose. Like we are not doing the actual testing, we are just working on those documentation part. So just a fun fact about it, which I have written, that like 30 to 40% of the QA effort generally goes to preparing documentation part only, which could have been like gone into the actual testing, exploratory testing and everything, right? And then the last one, rework and lost testing time. So obviously, since we are working on those documentation and then maybe there are some changes due to which we have to rework on those documentation parts. So that kind of like that resulting in loss of testing time, right? Because obviously like we are like instead of testing, we are just focusing on creating or just refining those document. So sorry. So that is few of the challenges which I am like catering right now, or like the QA team is catering right now. So for that, what I did or the QA team did, so basically we have created a few skills to cater this issue. Okay. So first, I would tell you what skill is. So most of the people are a bit technical here. So I would give you a technical example in that way. So if you all know that how functions work, okay. So in coding, like you just write a function, and then wherever that function is needed, you just like call that function and it does all those work. Like you don't have to write all those things again and again, right? So in the same way, skill works. Basically, like we just instruct a skill, like while creating it, we just instruct that, okay, who are the like what are those roles, who are the stakeholders, all the instructions, how the output should be, how the input should be, everything. Okay. And then whenever we need that particular skill, or whenever we need to perform that particular task, we just call that skill, and then that particular task can be done without writing the same prompt again and again. Okay. So for that, like today I have chosen two skills which I am going to showcase you all. So first is test case generation and the other is QA checklist generation skill. Now, what are all those inputs, or I would say like how it is basically working? Okay. So test case, like in the test case generation skill, basically it reads all those BRD, FRDs, user stories, acceptance criteria, even some screenshots if available. So it reads everything, and then it give you all those functional, positive, negative, edge cases, or whatever like the business rules and whatever the test data, precondition, expected result, and it just give you the export ready standardized format. Okay. So basically you don't have to think upon multiple things, that what are all those test case types which I have to cover. Okay. And what should be the test data, like it give you all those things which would require time to think and document. Okay. So that is the test case generation skill. So before moving to the QA checklist skill, I would like to showcase this particular skill first. Okay. So for that, we just have to write a simple prompt. How? So basically, using test case generator skill, analyze this FRD and give the test cases. Sorry. So this is one basic FRD which I have created for the like cart functionality. So like we thought that generally e-commerce is something that we all know about. Okay. So that's why I just took a random e-commerce website and just like created one FRD. Okay. And I'm just like running it here. Okay, and now it might take some time. Reason being, I have instructed it to like just give me a summary or module wise test cases. Okay, so it might take some time to do that. Okay, so in between, if you guys are having any question till now, whatever I have explained, okay, so you guys can ask or like just give me any feedback or anything if anything is coming in your mind. So yeah, you guys can share it. And in between, if anyone is not that much aware how skill needs to be created, so let me show you. It is very simple. Okay, so basically you guys have to have one proper prompt. For that also you can take help from ChatGPT. Okay, so basically like at the rate skill creator. Okay, so this is from where you can create this skill. So after that, you just have to give a proper prompt that, okay, I need to create one skill for maybe test plan generation. Okay, and it should be having the project details. It should be having all those like tools details, what are the deadlines and everything. Okay, so you have to have a proper prompt for that. Obviously, you can take help from ChatGPT and it will create one skill. If you want, I can like showcase it, or else like we can just like skip it for now. So whatever you guys suggest.
Can you show what you have created in your skill?
Okay, sure. So for that, you have to go to the plugin and then this skill part. Okay. So I have created like several skills. So if we need to see that, so basically like we can go to the skill part. Okay. This is a basic description, what this skill is all about. Okay. And then what are those inputs that it should accept? Sorry. Yeah. So accept PDF, document, spreadsheet, pasted requirements, user stories, screenshot, basically everything through which they can create the test cases. Okay. Then what are the workflow should be? So analyze the like analyze and identify core functionality, modules, user roles, workflow, business rules, data requirement, error and exception scenarios, requirement gaps, ambiguities, and everything. Okay. Then about the design complete coverage, so just like generate the relevant test cases. So basically while creating this test case, say like test case generator skill, I had to have few iteration. Reason being, sometimes it is sometimes it is creating some useless or maybe like not that much useful test cases, I would say. Okay. So that's why I thought to like specify what I actually want. Okay. Then how the design should be. So basically first it should focus on the UI and component testing, then the input validations, then positive test cases, negative test cases, edge cases, breaking cases. Okay, like whatever those blockers are. Okay. Then it has to prioritize the test cases, and I have given few examples like in the later prompt. So this is the just like basic things that what should be come under like while it prioritize the test cases. And then right, execution ready test cases. Okay. So I just mentioned like how it should be. So basically if it contains few models, so the test case ID should be the project name, then the module name, and then the test case number. Okay. Then use a concise actionable scenario names. Okay. Then numbers, reproducible steps. Okay. Then avoid vague wording such as work properly or as expected, which generally it right. Okay. So I just like specify that do not write it like this. Okay. Then how the output should be. So it should contain ID, test cases, description, prerequisite, test steps, test data, expected results, priority types. Okay. And these are the few major testing type which I have specified. Okay. So while it create the test cases, it will bifurcate it in these test types. Okay. So, yeah, that is basically like the way I have given the prompt. So before delivering, verify all those positive, negative. So basically, what I did, I have created uh two validations. Basically initially it has to review all the document and then generate the test cases, and at the end when it generated the test cases, basically it has to verify it again that whether everything is being covered as instructed. Okay. And then I have given few breaking case, edge cases examples. Okay, like what can be considered in breaking case, what can be considered in edge cases. Okay, and everything. So yeah, and at last, like how I want the Excel to be delivered. Okay. So that's how I have given this prompt. Now let's see. Yeah. Okay, so it has generated the test cases. Now, let me show you in a better way. Just a minute. Okay. Sorry. Just a second. I haven't downloaded it. Yeah, so it has given me the test cases and it has bifurcated it module wise. Okay. And at last, there are few assumptions. Okay, so as I told you earlier, that there might be like some unclear questions or something which is not that much like clearly written in the FRD. So whatever the AI did not able to find, they have like just added an assumption and gaps sheet. Okay, in that sheet, everything which is not that much clear has been mentioned. Okay, it doesn't mean that it did not like include all these scenarios there. It's just that it has like just cleared it that okay, these are few assumptions. I am working on assumptions only, but yes, like these are the few things which like need some sort of clarity. So yeah, since the FRD was like a bit short, okay, I just like took one feature, so that's why the test case is not that much long. But yes, it will work very efficiently for any longer FRDs or BRDs as well. So yeah, this is the first skill. Now let me go to the next skill. Okay, just a second. Yeah. So the second skill which I have created is QA checklist generation. Okay, so when we really use the QA checklist generation, whenever we have got like any FRD, BRD, or any requirement in initial phases, so at that time we like we need to document our understanding somewhere. Okay, that okay, this is the requirement from QA's point of view, probably we can test it in this way, or probably this particular thing which cannot be tested like this, or like we need maybe some special effort or maybe some special thing to test a particular feature. Okay, so everything will be documented anywhere. Okay, so that's where checklist document comes in picture. Okay, so what it actually, I'm sorry, what is it actually does, so it analyze the same requirement document. Okay, and then it find all those requirement gaps or any ambiguous statements or any business risk or missing dependency, positive, negative, edge cases coverage, clarification question for all the team. Okay, so basically like QA has received one FRD and then it like they analyze it, and then whatever they have understood, they have to document everything and then go back to the stakeholders that okay, these are my understanding and these are few things on which I need some sort of clarity. Okay, so now let me show how this particular skill works. So for that, I'm taking the same like FRD. Yeah. So just a second. Analyze this FRD and create QA checklist for this. Yeah. So till the time it is generating the document, let me show you how I have created the QA checklist as well. So yeah, this is the description. Then analyze user provided requirement as a senior QA analyst before test case creation, sprint grooming, QA planning, or requirement walkthrough. So basically, test case generation or QA checklist is basically the first document that a QA has to create even before any test plan, test case, or anything. Okay, so it is basically like just to make sure that how QA has understood everything. Okay. Then what is the operating rules? Analyze only the provided requirement evidence. Do not invent requirements. Okay. So basically, as we all know that sometimes like AI assume things. So I have specified that do not assume anything. Whatever you have understood from the given requirement or given FRD or whatever the content is there, like you just have to work upon that particular thing. Okay. So that is the thing. And then output order should be requirement summary, functional requirement, business rules, and everything. Okay. Then, sorry, yeah. This is like how the output should be. So if it is requirement summary, so how the requirement summary section should look like. So I have given example or maybe the formatting basically that how each section should be like formatted. Okay. So that is the thing. Then I have given few examples also. Then assumptions. Okay. Dependency on like if various like if something is dependent on something, like if there is any dependency, even is tool wise or resource wise. So yes, that needs to be like highlighted. Then if there is any requirement gaps, then that should be like mentioned somewhere. Okay. Then if there is some ambiguities, okay. And then this is like I would say my most favorite part. So basically like I have added one clarification question section where we write or we add all those clarification questions from the stakeholders to which like they are actually relevant. Okay. So if there are few questions from the BA, so there would be like questions for BAs. Okay. If there is any question especially for the product owner, then there is a different section for that. If there is any question for the QA team only, like kind of an internal discussion, so we can have that. And if there is any technical question which we need to ask from the developer or the technical team, so we will be having that particular thing. So like whenever we will be giving that document to anyone, they don't have to really like just review the whole document and find that okay, like what QA has been understood and what are their questions. So they can just like go to this particular section and they can just like answer whatever relevant questions like they are having, right? Like whatever relevant question relevant to them basically. Okay. So they can answer it. Okay. Then risk analysis, and then comes the last part, which is the regression impact. Okay. So yeah, and yes, one is final QA recommendations. So this is how it should work. Okay. And then let me see. Yeah. So it has generated the output. So requirement analysis, this is basically the project name. Okay. Then business objectives, scope, key functionalities, user roles, QA readiness, then functional requirement. Okay. So this is basically like kind of what QA has understood till now. Okay. Then what are those business rules? Then what are those assumptions? Okay. Then there are few dependencies, okay, internal authentication, okay, cross modules and everything, okay. Then requirement gaps, okay, like maybe there are some requirement which is not that much clear, okay, so they need some like clarity on that. So yeah, then few ambiguities, like maybe the functionality or the explanation for a particular functionality or module is that not that much clear, so they need clarity upon that. So that is like that comes under the ambiguity part. Then comes the clarification questions. So yeah, questions for the BA, question for the product owner or project manager, questions for the developer, for the QA team, for the security team if any. And then there is the risk analysis, and then regression impact analysis, and then final QA recommendation. So yeah, that's how this QA checklist works. Now, what is like what we have achieved while doing that? Okay. Now, like basically the business impact that we have got. Okay. So in documentation, like our time has been reduced to almost 80%. Now we just have to give the input, like uh, get the output, and then we just have to review the output, obviously, because we cannot like really 100% trust on the AI. So yes, just like like generation out like generating the output and the reviewing part is remaining. Other than that, like AI is actually doing everything almost very efficiently. So yeah, 100 plus test case generation from one requirement in a minute, then 50 plus checklist validation points under a minute, 30 to 50% higher requirement coverage, than 2 to 4x more time for exploratory and risk-based testing. So yeah, obviously, like the time we are saving, we are using it for doing exploratory testing and risk-based testing and every sort of like actual testing which like QA ideally should do. So yeah, we are this is how we are currently using the AI. So these are few skills which I have showcased today. Now, if anyone is having any questions regarding that, any suggestion, any feedback, anything, so yeah, they are feel free to like share everything. Anything, anyone?
So, what is the future scope of this test case generator? How you are thinking to more upgrade it or update it?
Uh, I would say like there are few things which is maybe still missing. Okay. Like there are lot many types of testing. Okay, exploratory. Okay, if it is doing the regression testing, then we have to obviously give them all those like insights. Okay. So I would say that see, scope is always there for like improving things. The major challenge that currently we are having is if the FRD, BRD or any document is like longer, so it might take around maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. So that is one thing which like I need to work upon, like how I can optimize that particular timing also. Other than that, like whatever the output it is giving, for now, I would say it is satisfactory, but yes, if anyone comes up with new ideas that, okay, maybe we can include this particular thing or maybe this thing is missing. So yeah, like that, like at that time we can like add those particular things. Yeah. Okay then. Thank you everyone for joining this webinar. Okay. I hope you have got few new insights, like maybe some helpful ones so that like you guys can use it in your day-to-day work, or maybe you can like kind of utilize the AI in more efficient way in future. So yeah, thank you all and happy weekend.
Thank you.
Pratibha.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Same to you. Bye. Bye.
Thanks, Pratibha.
Thank you.
Thank you.